For more than 100 years now, Intermountain Farmers Association, or IFA, has been dedicated to helping people grow the things they love. Folks familiar with IFA will likely know it as a thriving farm and ranch cooperative with three key divisions: livestock feed and nutrition, agronomy, and farm supply. Together, these three divisions constitute an ultra-modern network of resources, products, and services that are unique in the industry. But as sophisticated as IFA has become, 100 years ago, it was but a simple idea amongst a small group of poultry farmers in the little town of Gunnison, Utah. In 1923, a group of small businessmen in central Utah formed the Utah Poultry Producers Co-op Association as a marketing cooperative for surplus eggs in the region. By joining together, co-op members benefited from increased purchasing power, lower costs, and united marketing efforts. In March of 1923, egg receiving plants were opened in Salt Lake City, Ogden, American Fork, and Provo, and by December that same year, co-op membership had grown to nearly 600 producers. Growth began during the first year of operation when the founders took a risk and discovered that Los Angeles was even more profitable than Utah markets. The first shipment of eggs to the West Coast went by express, which was expensive. But the venture paid off when the eggs brought 18 cents per dozen compared to 10 cents in Salt Lake City. Proving their potential, investors and more employees were brought on board. During the coming years, membership in the co-op grew as the business expanded into poultry feed and supplies. As the Great Depression washed across the country, many Utah families benefited from the co-op and their cash crop of eggs, and it was often said that egg checks fed families and saved homes. From the onset, one of the priorities of the co-op was to market the white eggs produced by Utah's white leghorn chickens as prestigious and of the highest quality. The distinctive milk white trademark and label was created, catching the country's eye. And soon the milk white label was popular from coast to coast, with a particularly loyal market in New York City. Around this same time, the co-op experimented with shipping carloads of turkeys and poultry to market. This produced plenty of headaches initially, but had considerable success after processing and packaging issues were solved. These solutions would prove critical to survival in the coming decades, and especially during the demanding years of World War II, when new challenges arose, such as labor shortages, supply embargoes, and shipping the troops overseas. After the war, the association struggled with its identity and with new growing pains. Management realized the need to extend its services beyond the poultry market, and thus the co-op's name was changed to Utah Poultry and Farmers Cooperative to reflect its product and service offerings to cattlemen and other livestock producers. The next 15 years would see even more change as co-op branches began to sell products like batteries and tires and fencing. Feed production kicked into high gear as more ingredients and upgraded equipment became available. There were mergers with organizations such as the Draper Egg Producers and the Draper Poultrymen. The cooperative got into the fertilizer business. And then, in 1961, another name change. On February 25, 1961, the co-op became Intermountain Farmers Association. A few years after the name change, a new general manager was brought on board. With the new GM came extensive reorganization and rebuilding. All egg-receiving plants and poultry processing plants were closed, and, to the surprise of many, the egg marketing business was sold. Older stores were rebuilt and began selling all types of feed, seed, fertilizers, and an ever-expanding inventory of farm supplies. In Spanish Fork, the new IFA implemented a corn for grain program and installed a corn dryer and storage bins, which provided a new income opportunity for farmers in the area. And in Draper, after a fire swept through the old feed mill, a new mill was built and became the most modern feed mixing and storage plant in the region. By the mid-70s, IFA had 5 new mills complementing the larger Draper mill. and dairies had become an important part of the business. In fact, a dairy equipment sales and service program was developed that would soon become one of the best in the nation. By 1979, IFA had computerized its feed manufacturing operations, allowing for up-to-date daily reviews of feed ingredient costs. Around this same time, IFA made further investments in its fertilizer business, leading to expansion such as bulk blending plants, advanced spreader equipment, and larger storage bins. In the mid-'80s, IFA began placing a greater emphasis on emerging technologies in crop advising, feed nutrition, and veterinary services to help members improve production. And once again, it expanded its feed and nutrition branch by building a brand new mill in Lewiston, Utah. The 90s saw tremendous growth in IFA's farm supply division, with sales of clothing, fencing, livestock handling equipment, equine products, and home and garden items climbing year after year. Sales were so strong that most retail stores were completely remodeled and renamed IFA Country Store. Meanwhile, IFA's agronomy and feed divisions were growing just as aggressively, leading IFA to add field sales agents and nutritionists to its staff. No doubt key to the growth in its feed division was the adoption of a revolutionary new flaking process in feed mills that allowed dairies to see a significant and instant increase in milk production. As a new century dawned, all three of IFA's divisions continued to evolve and grow. The retail stores began offering more lines of clothing, footwear, and accessories. The fertilizer business saw incredible growth with the development of the new IFA 4-step lawn fertilizer program directed at homeowners. Innovative new lines of equine feed products were created. Spreader and sprayer technology evolved dramatically from a truck and guesswork to auto steer and GPS precision. And IFA's nutritionists would become known as some of the best in the industry as they implemented advancing health and performance technologies to help producers become even more productive and profitable. Over the course of the past 100 years, IFA has been fortunate enough to evolve at key moments that in turn have enabled growth, stability, and the empowerment of co-op members and their communities. Moving forward, we seek to continue this path, to support both the business and lifestyle of agriculture. Of course, we don't know what the next 100 years may hold, but one thing we do know is that we'll spend it being dedicated to helping people grow the things they love.